Oh, it's Friday the 13th. That's right. I forgot. All right, everybody. Can you hear me over on YouTube and X and all Facebook and all that now? Let me know. Oh, my gosh. Hitesh is here. Good morning, Hits. The hottest is here. Charlie, thank you for the shining stars. All right. Since it is just a cluster over here today. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see who we have over here. Melfin71, Melissa's here, Robbie Miller, Diana 10, Hometown Girl, Mama Balama. Thank you, Mama.
Okay, you have audio on YouTube.
I do. Okay, I think I know what I did wrong. That's all right. Blue Flames 41, Wildlife Fan, Hitesh. Oh my gosh. Nizmore you. Thank you, Nizmore you.
You didn't check the box that said share audio, did you?
No, what I did was there's two profiles when I go live. The way I've set up the screen over there, so you can see everybody now. And I shut the one off thinking, oh, it won't matter, but that was the one that had the volume. So go figure. Okay, Wendy said, yep, sounds back on YouTube. Okay, cool. Thanks, you guys. Hey, Holly, just keep that to yourself, young lady. Holly's laughing at me, you guys. How rude is that?
Some of the comments are like, Sam, keep your hands in your pockets. Right, what Hits wrote, that you qualify for tech support in India.
Exactly. Yes, you have reached tech support. How can I help you? All right, let's see here. Alex, let's get some. Thank you, Laura, for the gift. Let's do some indices, Alex.
Oh, are we doing that on Fridays? Man. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. If you don't know the history of Friday 13th, it's a pretty interesting one. You might go see what the Googles, the YouTubes, the AIs might say about it. Some interesting historical facts there. Looking at the markets today, indices are as such. S&P 500 is down 26 points to 6,645. The Dow is down 26 points. Wow, they're both down 26 points. Interesting. To 46,651. NASDAQ is down 176, not 26, to 22,140 even. Looking at the commodity market, oil continues to creep just a little bit. We're up 52 cents today at $96 a barrel. We don't like that. Conversely, natural gas is down 8 cents at $3.14. Spot price on gold currently down $50, but we're still above 5,000 at $5,028. Silver down $3.67, but still above the 80 mark at $80.14. Little chicanery on Fridays. We hope that come Monday it'll rally. But as the rest of the markets go down, what happens? Bitcoin is currently up 1.7% at 71,706 per coin. XRP is up 2% to 141. Ethereum up 2.58% at 2,128. Stellar Lumen XLM is up 3.6% at 16 cents. Cardano up 4.5 at 27 cents. Interesting things happening in the crypto market today, but we'll have to watch it through the weekend and see. We know weekends get a little turbulent. See what number 47 has planned for us over the course of the weekend, because anyway, there was an interesting post for today. LifeLog problems ? Garbage file ?
Interesting times that we're living in.
Well, the one right next to it, the one right after it, within looks like less than a minute, is a picture of a particular building on a particular island that has blue and white stripes on it.
Ooh, very interesting. Hitesh said, hey, Sam and team and all our friends, a very happy and blessed Friday to you all. Same to you, Hits. Mama Balama said, you all need to turn on captions. Are we still having audio difficulties? AJMCSJ is here. Lace and Steel, thank you for all the gifts. Blue Flames 41, Barb 7599, John Langloy, you guys are great. Laura McCrae, thank you. Oh, my goodness. It's starting off already, you guys. Hits said, Sam, you're a definite candidate for Indian tech support. Exactly. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, here at the Circle K. And I make fun of everybody, you guys. It's not just the Indians. It's everybody.
I'm calling because your computer has a virus.
Exactly. Kevin Kiesler's here. Captain Graybeard said, "Oh, we got a Trump train from Wildlife Fan." Thank you, Wildlife.
Wait. We got a train. Listen.
Choo-choo, bitches.
Captain Graybeard said, "Please excuse us while we work the Bidens out of our technologies." Isn't that? Oh, we got another Trump train from Charlie. Thank you.
Choo-choo, bitches.
Okay, Layson Steele said that YouTube's not working, unavailable for me. Is that the case over there, everybody?
Refresh. I'm on it right now.
Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, Layson. It's because I had to end the last one and started a new one. Maybe that's why. CG said, "Sam, your headphone is so tight. Is too tight." Thanks a lot, CG. Jeez. Oh.
Mary's Lee Brown said, "I'm a kid." You know what?
Choo-choo, bitches.
Exactly. I speak 7. Oh, Bullfrog. Thank you for the hanging lights. I speak 1717 said, "Would there be a Friday the 13th on a 13-month calendar?" Huh. Very good question. Who the hell knows? I don't know. The hottest said, question mark. I know, believe me. Martin's WB is here. Hey, Martin, where the heck you been, brother? Glad you're here. Oh, my gosh. Bullfrog said, "America is winning. Isn't that the truth?" Isn't that? Towie Bixby's here. She said, "Hi, everyone. I'm driving to work. Please keep tapping. Laugh out loud. Thank you for everything, everyone." Oh, you're so sweet, Towie. Even when you're driving. Be careful driving. Barb7599 said, "Love your new train sounds, Alex." Okay. Oh my God. We're going to be on one with Alex. Alex is on one this morning. Christine Thomas is here and she's on YouTube. She said, "Yeah, it's working now." Hitesh said, "Yep." Earl Shannon's here. Hey, Earl, he said, "Good morning, Kelly, dude, pretty lady, and future flat earther. Trump trade for Mama Balama." Thank you, Mama.
Choo-choo, bitches.
David Morales said, over on YouTube, said, "Watch the Melania movie yesterday. Maybe need to see again. Some hidden comms. The dress was significant somehow. 100%. In fact, talking about the Melania movie, I'm such a nerd. I made notes while I was watching it. And these are some of the notes I'm going to make on the Melania movie, or what I noticed. There was a Michael Jackson song right in the beginning. When they were in the elevator, they hit the 66th floor. There was a red invitation at the inauguration because they talked about the inauguration. They showed a lot of back scenes, and it was in a red folder. There was gold everywhere throughout the movie. Gold eggs, gold trim, gold everything. They highlighted legal immigrants working at the White House. There was quite a few homosexuals, but there was nothing negative associated with it. Again, do what you want. Long as you're happy, nobody's getting hurt. Who cares? Let's see. Oh, there was green church candles. What's another signal from green? Pepe, exactly. When they first started talking about the child issue being abducted, who was the first person they brought on? Melania brought on Bridget Macron. Exactly. Mr. Bridget Macron, I might add. They had Fox News and CNN in the movie. National championship, the same as the inauguration, the TV networks, again, CNN and Fox. And then at the end, there was a song, "Who Rules the World?" Now, those are just some of the quick notes that I made on that movie. And David Morales said black and white was very significant on Melania's dress. 100%, I agree. But there was
and she highlighted that the highlight of that V in that neckline that they were so worried about having to cut.
Yeah.
Because she was adamant that V had to be pointed out in that starkness, and the Z in her dress. So many things that you're like.
Could it be V for Vendetta, the movie?
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. So that was my nerding out on the Melania movie. That's what I saw, at least a portion of it.
I'm surprised you were paid such close attention to some of the details.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a 40,000 foot guy, but I mean, it was so obvious.
She's a beaut, man. She's a beaut.
Wow.
I haven't watched it yet because I haven't figured out how to watch it while taking a cold shower at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say this is
easy now. Pump the brakes there, Alex. Exactly.
Yeah, she's up there in the caliber of extraordinary.
She is very much so. Mama Balama, Lace and Steel, Bullfrog. Thank you all for the gifts. And Charlie. All right, let's see here. Brian said vindication. I Speak 17 said V for Vendetta 100%. It's exactly what I was thinking. Same as Holly. All right. All right, let's see here. Now I'm completely off the rails. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, Holly, how was your trip?
Absolutely wonderful. Every single thing that we were hoping for was validated.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, we want to swap a cabin in the woods for a cabin in the woods. And I was shocked at the beauty I didn't realize. We came home so pleased.
Wonderful.
Well, not to throw a monkey wrench in there, but I do know that there's 160 acres going to be auctioned probably for around $4,000 an acre north of me here soon.
Ooh.
Wow. If everybody's in the market for a cabin in the mountains in Utah,
going
on the market.
Holly, it's funny. And yeah, if anybody wants a cabin in Utah, reach out to Holly. She's got one that she's getting rid of. So when I was married, this is 15 years ago, we did a motorhome trip. And we decided we were going to either go spend a month in Europe or we were going to spend some time here in the U.S. So we sold our house, put everything in storage, homeschooled the kids, bought a 40-foot, 38-foot diesel pusher motorhome, towed a car behind it, and we went through 38 states over a period of about 6 months. And the beauty that we discovered here in America was mind-blowing. We didn't expect what we saw. It was wonderful. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. We were driving around going, why do people have to leave? There's things here we are so close to that we don't realize the value of where we are.
Yeah, exactly. Cole's Girl 2002 said, where in Utah?
Panguitch Lake. It's up the mountain by Brian Head Ski Resort.
There you go. Okay. So everybody who's looking for a cabin in Utah, reach out to Holly. I'm sure she can help you there. Mark Travis over on YouTube said Narnia was like the plan of salvation. The lion, the witch, and the wardrobe, and the white witch is Satan. Well, I think, again, there was a lot of representation, a lot of comms in the Melania movie. And I just picked out the ones that I caught quickly. I haven't really sat there and gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, but there was a lot that was taking place in there.
Yeah, like the Wizard of Oz. Look at the comms in the Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. Exactly. 100% I agree. David Morrell said the queen protects the king on a chessboard. Melania is a powerful lady. 100% I agree. Couldn't agree more, David. All right. So Melissa Flinner, Melfin71, thank you for the gifts. Hokey Gigi, thank you. Thank you. All right. So U.S. housing starts were the highest in over a year. And they were saying that it was because of the mortgages or the mortgage rates dropping. Alex, what do you think?
100%. If I can borrow the money cheaper, I'm gonna go borrow cheap money. Makes sense.
100%. Holly?
Well, that you made a comment about 18 trillion investment. They are now considering that what they call, in quotes, a steady investment.
Yep, 100%. Mama Balama said, RV homeschooling does not sound fun, laugh out loud, but I'd love to do that with my fam too. Well, it wasn't fun at times, believe me. But my ex-wife, she bared the brunt of most of that. But we were living in California at the time when we took off. And California was going, this is back in 2005. So back then, California was not on the upswing. It was on the downswing. And we wanted to get the hell out. And so we did. We went on this motorhome trip, landed in Colorado after the 6 months, bought a condo in the mountains. I started a new company up in the mountains, and then we moved back down to Denver and spent another 4 years there. But I'm telling you, it was absolutely worth it. In my opinion, it was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And if anybody has the opportunity to go tour our great nation, go and do it. I can't recommend it highly enough. And I would have never done it had my ex-wife not, suggested it, but we did.
Women come in handy for those kind of things.
Well, yeah, that's true. For many things, many things. Dee said there was a lot of symbolism in that movie. 100%, I agree. 100%. All right, moving on. And we're kind of going to rapid pace because we do have the docs joining us today, everyone. Melvin, Melissa, thank you for the happy Friday. Let's see here. Oh, no. Now my screen. Jeez, Louis. It must be Friday the 13th because I can't. There we go. I know. I know. I know. So an Epstein guard has been called to testify at the Oversight Committee. Now, isn't it interesting? Epstein goes away, then it comes back. Then it goes away, then it comes back. What do you make of it, Holly?
Oh, and she's the one that was on duty when all those cameras went down, and supposedly there's a possibility some people were switched out. Yeah,
Exactly.
let's talk to her up and close.
Exactly. Alex?
3047 says trolling is fun. Panic is good. Panic increases the rat population.
Exactly. Exactly. Jan, loving being grandma. Thank you for the gifts. You're so sweet. So moving on, Tim Burchett, this was according to Wall Street Apes, exposed the price of gas increasing in America has nothing to do with the Iran war. We've talked about this many times. We don't get any of our oil from Iran. He says, we buy zero oil from Iran. Our fuel companies just decided to take advantage of the situation and price gouge Americans. Now you have that situation, and you also have Lloyd's of London. Holly, what do you make of it?
This conversation, because we were traveling at the time, watching it go up $1 overnight, it just gets my blood boiling. Because, like they said, yes, going through the Straits of Hormuz has slowed down, but it hasn't stopped. Energy is flowing. They're not sitting, but it's like they just go, oh, this is a great excuse to line our pockets. It makes me crazy.
And I think that's what the Patriots are highlighting. They're showing everybody the manipulation in the oil industry. They're showing people the manipulation in precious metals. They're showing the manipulation of the stock market. Alex?
I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle of the two narratives. Oil is a world market. So any fluctuation anywhere in the world is going to cause some price fluctuations, but not to the extent that it goes up a damn dollar in the United States. Exactly. So it is in the middle, but frustrating nonetheless.
We got a Trump trade from Calvin Lee. Thank you, Calvin. I love it. Chris, oh gosh, I lost my train here. Oh, Magic's here. Hey, Magic, welcome in. Martini Time said price gouging. Exactly. 100%. Melissa Flinner said, yeah, they're working the system. They knew what they were doing. 100%. And I think it's the Patriots exposing the corruption that has infiltrated almost every portion of our lives over the last several decades and several hundred years. All right, moving on. General Flynn came out and said that there was confirmed strikes on banking infrastructure in Iran, and that also U.S. and Israeli financial centers. I think that's part of what this whole thing is about, highlighting the banking operation and what's been going on with the central banks. Alex?
Is it a coincidence over the last 26 years? Sorry, 30 years. Yeah, last 30 years. That most of the conflicts that we've seen happening around the world just happen to be in gold-backed currency countries that were not on the centralized banking system.
Exactly. Holly?
Yeah, there's also some interesting, they said that they were targeting some areas where there might be some lockers and some items stolen and some records that belong to that building with the stripes. Some unlocking of some information. Yeah.
What about the burn bags that Cash Patel was talking about? Exactly. 100%.
Garbage files?
Garbage files.
Exactly. All right. You know what, you guys? There's nothing. Let's see here. Okay. The last story before we bring the docs on. President Trump said, you'll never like to say too early we won. We won in the first hour. It was over. Reminds me of one particular drop. It was over before it began. I think that speaks volumes. What do you think, Holly?
Oh, absolutely. And you keep saying that so much of this stuff is just being put out there for observation, that it already happened in the past. So, it just makes me wonder how much of this was already handled.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there are so many different levels of being awake that you have to target individual layers of people to bring them up to speed to what's been going on. Alex?
It's definitely interesting conversation. I think again, we need to apply the rule of let's kind of wait and see. I kind of read it a little differently because he started that with we don't want to say we've won too soon. I seem to remember banners hanging over the sides of ships at the beginning of something saying we've won, and it was over WMDs, and 20 years later we're still protecting. Anyway, I'll stop. That was my first thought, but was it over before it started? I mean, when you're outgunned, peace through strength, the guy's cleaning house, man.
Yep, exactly. I Speak 17 said there is no coincidence. Agreed. Lovey's mom said, boom. Wendy said it was over before it began. Mama Balama said, waking the masses. Yes, Holly. Yeah, 100%. D said, watching a movie. Nizmore, you said, guys, gotta go. Have a great weekend. Same to you, Nizmore. You glad you can make it, brother. All right. D said, yeah, it's a great movie. Oh, that's right. Brian said, remember the train in one of the news clips with the big letters saying movie? I do remember that, Brian. Very good point. Very good point. All right, let's bring the docs on, Alex.
All right, I'm going to give you guys that space. Bless you all.
See you, Holly. Thank you for coming back. We'll see you next week. We got a Trump trade from Calvin. Good morning, Doc.
What's happening, gentlemen?
Well, we are just clicking and banging. You know what I'm saying? We're lighting the tires and kicking the tires. Oh, my camera.
We keep getting all these trains.
Yeah, I know. So everybody, I was telling everybody on the show the day after your last question and answer how I was heckling you in the crowd, and we had such a blast. Everybody needs to join your website, Doc, just so they can get in on the heckling.
It was great.
It was. I had a blast. It was so fun. Good morning, Dr. Neil.
Challenge accepted.
Hey, look at that.
Hey.
Everyone needs to buy this.
Exactly.
Love it. Thank you. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it took me 37 years to write that book.
So you started when you were 12, Doc? Is that what you're saying? Uh-huh.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Brother Neil?
I am excellent. Thank you.
All right. So you guys, I had saved something here that I wanted to pull up. I wanted to get your opinion on it. So Zero Hedge came out with an article, and they talked about high caffeine intake linked to reduced dementia risk. What do you know about that, Dr. Glidden?
I don't know anything about that. I do know that the leading cause of dementia is statin drugs.
Right.
And that Alzheimer's disease is a statin drug epidemic. If causation doesn't always go to correlation, or correlation doesn't always go to causation unless it does. If you put a map of when statin drugs were introduced to the market, cholesterol-lowering statin drugs, and the remarkable rise of Alzheimer's, they parallel each other almost exactly. Maybe that's a coincidence, but wait a minute. The majority of the part of the brain that's affected by Alzheimer's is made from cholesterol. So when you drive cholesterol into the ditch with statin drugs, your brain's going to dry up. You're going to get dementia. You're going to get Alzheimer's disease. Your sex hormones are going to dry up because all sex hormones are made from cholesterol. But don't worry, we have a little blue pill for that. And women in menopause are going to get hot flushes for 3 years instead of 3 months because their body has run out of the necessary cholesterol in order to keep the lights on and keep things going.
Now, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it myelin, and doesn't myelin make up 2/3 of the brain and coat every nerve cell in your body?
Yeah, so it's not just the brain that's negatively affected by statin drugs, but the entire central nervous system. And one fun fact to know and tell, human body is a battery. The stomach provides the acid, the bones provide the base, the minerals in the bones, and the brain is the negative pole, and the liver is the positive pole of the human battery. So if you have a funky liver, you're going to have a funky brain. And guess how statin drugs work? They cause inflammation in the liver because your liver makes cholesterol. That's how important cholesterol is to the body. Your liver makes it. If you don't eat enough, your liver will make it. Not if you're on a statin drug, because the statin drug causes inflammation in the liver, which interrupts cholesterol production, and it also screws the battery up. So the longer that you're on a statin drug, the harder it's going to be for you to think. I don't know about the whole caffeine thing. It's interesting, and it needs to be. It's interesting.
I think that, I mean, everything Dr. Glidden said is correct. You know, one of the other scary things about statin drugs is your joints and become inflamed and painful. And again, that's because of the nerves. And yes, of course, you need your LDL cholesterol for brain function and hormone making, as Dr. Glidden said. I suspect that the study was, it's really, they were probably studying coffee. And, they just said they were studying caffeine because obviously coffee has the highest amount of caffeine. But,
Cheers.
for years and years, I told my patients not to drink coffee because it was over acidic, would interrupt your digestion, and so on. Now and the mold and the microtoxins and so on in the coffee were terrible. It turned your body, again, one of the 4 things that go wrong is over acidity. So coffee was really bad for those things. However, it has powerful antioxidants. So if you do drink coffee, you have to drink clean coffee, you have to drink organic coffee, and you have to drink coffee that's low acid.
Well, and part of what I drink, Doc, is I have one that's infused with mushrooms. It's not the psychedelic type, but
Right.
infused with lion's mane and some other essential mushrooms.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with the psychedelic type.
And the coffees, and the mushroom coffees, there are many of them that are good and substitute. So if it's a coffee bean infused or if it's just mushroom coffee, I'm just saying for the general population, I've changed that a little bit because, again, there are powerful antioxidants in it. Some of my patients, I have a patient whose pH when he urinates is up to 8, and for him, something like coffee is good because I need to drive down that alkalinity. Too much acidity is no good. Too much alkaline is also no good.
Yeah. Franny Dragonfly, thank you for all the gifts. Patrick said, my wife definitely suffers from hot flashes, but after cancer. Any comment, Dr. Glidden?
Well, I would have to know the treatment that she had and what the side effects of the treatment are, because whenever anybody has any symptom at all in the United States, the first thing to question is it a side effect of one of the pharmaceuticals that I'm taking? Because most of the time it is, and it's completely unlooked at. I mean, I had a colleague who was treating a multi-millionaire who had dementia. You would ask him a question, and it would take him 3 or 4 minutes to be able to answer the question. He could answer the question, but there was a 3 or 4 minute delay, right? Now, if he wrote it, he could answer the question right away, but it was like he was phased out of reality. So he'd been to Mayo Clinic 5 times. 5 times to Mayo Clinic because he had so much money. And every time he went, they just threw crap against the wall to see what stuck. They came up with nothing. They came up with nothing. They came up with nothing. Finally, in desperation, he went to see my buddy. My buddy does a history, right? When did all of this begin? Well, it began on such a date. And what was new in your life right around then? Well, I started on a statin drug. So my colleague looked up the side effects of the statin drug, and sure enough, there it was. So all he did was withdraw the guy from the statin drug, and within 4 weeks, he was completely 100% back to normal. But here's the kicker. The doctors put him on the statin drug preventively, not because he had high cholesterol, but because he was in his 60s and he was a male, and that's just what we do. Been to the Mayo Clinic 5 times, and they completely missed it because the conventional medical doctor is never, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, never, ever, ever, never going to look to see if a pharmaceutical is the cause of any of the problems that any of their patients have. Yeah, but don't get me started.
An HIV patient. I've worked a lot with HIV patients, and something about HIV is it stops a certain T cell that lines the liver, and so that has become statins have become almost mandatory for many HIV doctors. They just prescribe it, and I have to warn my patients about that. Again, they created the statins based on red yeast rice, which has the same action of monocolin K in the liver. And obviously slow niacin. There are ways to bring down that LDL, but you also, again, there's a lot of focus on that, but you really have to look at the apolipoprotein B, because that's the problem that creates the inflammation where the plaque starts building up in the arteries, and we have a problem in blockage.
The basic moral to this story is, and this mantra everybody in the listening audience should, recite to themselves every morning when they get up while they're brushing their teeth. You cannot drug your way to health. You can't do it. Thank God for lidocaine. Thank God for general anesthesia. Thank God for insulin, I guess, right? Drugs are like guns. It's not the gun, it's how it's used. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. And the way that the medical doctors are trained to deliver drugs does not get to the root cause of the problem. It does not attempt to cure the condition. It just kicks the can down the road, and now you have to deal with the side effects of the drug. So, what we do in naturopathic medicine is support and deliver therapeutics that support and promote the body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself and get the hell out of the way. Why do we do that? Because the body has a built-in God-given ability to fix itself. And wouldn't you want to be aware of that and familiarize yourself with that if you were a doctor? The answer is yes, but the medical doctors do not. They do not believe that that can happen. The medical doctor thinks that you are a bag of biochemicals waiting to break, and that once something does break, it can't be cured, it just has to be managed. So shut up and take your statin drugs. It's a shit show from start to finish.
Donna Fox said, I just took myself off of statins. Nutty81 said, there was a document put out that cancer is a parasite. Any comment on that?
Yeah, I'll let Dr. Neal take that one.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Sam.
It said there was a study, there was a document put out that cancer is a parasite.
Well, there's a lot of that stuff. Cancer's a parasite, cancer's a fungus, cancer's at least 52 biochemical metabolic functions have to go wrong for your body. We all make cancer cells all the time, but our bodies naturally remove them. I've heard, it's a virus, people with high Epstein-Barr, high cyclomegalovirus, things like that those mutate and become cancer. But if you've got high levels of these viral infections, or you have parasites, then you're interrupting your digestive tract, for example, with parasites, and that alone could start the process of creating the body to, again, accept the aberrant cell growth, which is cancer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that everybody needs to understand about cancer. There's a couple things. Number one, the tumor is not the disease, it's the result of the disease. And if the therapeutic is just focused on removing the tumor, you're going to burn it with radiation, you're going to dissolve it with chemo, you're going to surgically remove it. It's going to come back, because the tumor is not the disease, it is the result of the disease, number one. And number two, the track record of cancer treatment in the United States is unbelievably abysmal. It is so bad that years ago, the American Cancer Society stopped even bandying about the word cure. And now all of their cancer therapeutics are delivered inside of the paradigm of 5-year survivability. So if you're diagnosed with cancer and you die from cancer 5 years and 1 day after that, it's considered a successful treatment, which is bullshit. The fact of the matter is that conventional medicine, over the billions of dollars that we've poured into cancer research for MD-directed, allopathic, pharmaceutical centrist, materialistic, Machiavellian, monopolistic medicine, has failed. And it's not because you can't cure cancer. I've got colleagues and myself who've cured cancer frequently. There's a doctor in India, all he uses is homeopathy, is like over a 65% success rate with most cancers. Well, this is where the money needs to go. This is where the research needs to go, but it's not going to.
Well, Doc, you have Laetrile, you have Gershon method, you have Coley's toxins, you have a myriad of cancer treatments, and all of them are outlawed in the United States. You have stiffer consequences for bringing those in than you do heroin. That's a problem.
It's even worse than Dr. Glidden said, because not only is it, and again, I've worked in cancer therapy for 45 years. Not only is it, 5 years and a day they consider you a success, but for example, if you have lung cancer and they treat it with harsh drugs and chemo and radiation and so on, oftentimes that will go into remission and then you get kidney cancer. But if you die of kidney cancer, you're still considered a success. You're written as a success for lung cancer because you didn't die of lung cancer.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
It's David said, "What are the side effects of a good waxing?" Oh my God! Of course you had to say it, David, didn't you? Mama Balama had asked about a good coffee to use. I can tell you what I use, Mama. I use something called Laird, Laird, and it's the Perform version of it that's infused with a whole bunch of good mushrooms. You might want to check that out.
Henry has asked a couple of times, do statins have a correlation with diabetes?
Well, I don't know about that. Statins, everything is connected inside the human body. This is where the term holistic came from. And by the way, we spell holistic with a W, please. Thank you very much, because it relates to the wholeness of the organism, not the H, holistic, which is, hologram stuff. So everything is going to have an impact on the body. The statin drug is going to have net negative impacts across the spectrum of all the metabolic processes of the body, because everything's connected. If you push the body this way, it's going to respond this way. So as far as I'm concerned, with type 2 diabetes and syndrome X and insulin resistance syndrome, these things are rooted in two main things. There are other things at play, but there are two main things. Number one, deficiencies in trace minerals with an emphasis on chromium, and number two, deficiencies in omega-3 essential fats. Because if you don't have enough omega-3 essential fats in your body, the cell walls of your cells are going to be funky. And it's the cell wall needs to be healthy in order to open up a sugar gate and let the sugar go in after it's been stimulated to do so by insulin. You need chromium. You need omega-3 essential fats. You need to detoxify your body. And once you've done all those things, your blood sugar should be fine, because you don't have a blood sugar issue because you have a bad gene. You have a blood sugar issue because you have a bad doctor. Hard stop.
Hey, Doc, Franny Dragonfly said about triglycerides, what lowers triglycerides, and do you need to even lower them?
I'm not concerned with lowering triglycerides. I read a research study when I was a sophomore in naturopathic medical school. It said that postmenopausal white women with total cholesterol over 400 live longer and healthier than everybody else. Over 400. So cholesterol is not the Antichrist.
That was obviously not a pharmaceutical bias funded study.
And again, as I said, it as Dr. Glidden just said, it's not necessarily the cholesterol number. It's how the cholesterol works in your body, the inflammation of the body. Inflammation and auto intoxication are the two, in my world, two greatest detriments. And we don't realize how unfortunately, again, the air, the water, the soil, our food, all of these things, most of the time, unless you're growing your own, and even then, it's hard that you're to not auto intoxicate. So then when we when that purity isn't happening, and we're doing things with our body, again, holistic, mind, body, and spirit. We these things change how the body functions. And yeah, go ahead.
My brother, Dr. Mike, God rest his soul, he had a whole bunch of phrases that he used, and he used them for years. And one of the things that he would talk about was toxicity. He would talk about toxicity and nutritional deficiency. And we have talked about this on the show, and we will continue to talk about it because it's important. You don't have, he used to say that you could eat 200 pounds of organic food a day and you wouldn't get the nutrients that you need, which is true because the soil has been depleted, because we do green harvesting, because we radiate the food. There's a myriad of reasons behind it, but you have to have essential nutrients in the body, in the system, in order for the body to heal itself. And that's why Dr. Glidden and I, and most everybody on this show, we use longevity products because we know what's in them. And those products give you 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids in one serving. I mean, you'd have to buy a whole myriad of other supplements in order to be able to do that, right, Doc?
I mean, if you go out into cold weather in your bathing suit, you're going to die. If you go out to cold weather all bundled up, you can sleep on the ice if you want to. It's no different with essential medical nutrition. There are essential nutrients that the body needs. It needs them in order to work, but it cannot make them, and they are no longer in the food in the proper concentrations. They're not. So everybody is nutritionally deficient unless you're supplementing with the right stuff. And oh, guess what? If you are nutritionally deficient and there's an exogenous toxin that finds its way into the body's not going to be able to get rid of it because it needs nutrients to do that. So now you get more and more and more and more to more and more toxic, more and more and more and more and more and more toxic, and less and less and less and less and less and less nutrified, more and more and more and more inflammation. And then into this mess, you go to the medical doctor and they just throw pharmaceuticals at it, which just makes everything worse, which is why, depending on how you crunch the numbers, the first or the third leading cause of death in the United States is MD-directed medical therapeutics. Let me say that again. The first or the third leading cause of death, depending on how you crunch the numbers, is MD-directed medical therapeutics. And the leading cause of bankruptcy, MD-directed medical therapeutics. And while the MDs have been in exclusive control of the development and the delivery of medicine for the last 110 years, chronic disease has gone through the roof. Alzheimer's is everywhere. Autism is everywhere. Just as many people get heart disease now as they did before statin drugs. Type 2 diabetes, obesity, it's a crap show. Everybody is sick all of the time. And it's not because that's life. That's life under the care of conventional medicine. And the best thing that anybody can do in order to secure your health moving forward is fire your medical doctor immediately. Only use them for surgery when it's necessary and trauma care. You know, you go skiing and you break your leg and you got a bleeding femoral artery, go to the MD. But for everything else, you need to seek out alternatives to the MD method, which have been developed and delivered by physicians, the intention of which is to support your body's built-in ability to fix itself. These therapeutics exist. These doctors exist.
Jimmy Wright said, "Thank you, Peter, for what you do, brother." Mrs. Meg said, "We need doctors like him around everywhere." And that's why both Dr. Glidden and Dr. Neal are with us every Friday. It absolutely has to be out there. And that's what we're doing here. Mama Balama said, "Does fasting aid in detoxing? What's the shortest amount of time for fasting for that?" Dr. Neal?
Yes, I love fasting. I use a specific Norman Walker. Back in the 1800s, was one of the greatest and first wrote a book called Raw Vegetable Juices. It's really fantastic because I love raw vegetable juices. And he developed what's called the Walker fast. And I use that a lot. And it's either a 1 day, it's actually a 1 and 1, a 2 and 2, or a 3 and 3, no more than 6 days. But the first day is Epsom salts, tablespoon of Epsom salts in an 8-ounce glass of water, and then there's a citrus solution of 6 grapefruits, 3 lemons, and the rest oranges. and you drink an 8-ounce glass of that every half hour, and that stirs up the body toxins to detoxify. I recommend when people fast, they do it gently first until the body gets used to it, because again, you don't want to overload the body with releasing the toxins unless you're sure you can eliminate them. The second day is raw vegetable juices all day. And you can drink as much as you want. On my website, there's a proportional distribution of those juices. And that carries off these acidic toxins that the citrus solution stirred up. But once again, the gentlest, most powerful, and best way to detoxify, and I love fasting, is to use a Kalima board. And that.
Now, you guys talked about that last week. What exactly is a Kalima board, Doc?
So Victor Irons invented a Kalima board. The word comes from colonic, enema, colima. It uses the 5 gallons of water that a colonic does, but it has a tip that goes in you, only this much, this little, and it's as thin as a pencil. Again, I'm not talking about people's sexual preferences, but
I hope not. Jesus. Go ahead.
It's not an entrance. And unless you have x-rays and so on, you don't want to be pushing tubes in there all the way up and pressurizing with a pump the water. The water comes in gently through a siphon at the body's own pace, and it gently cleans the colon. I talked about this last week as well, because every point on your body, also the same as with acupuncture and so on, and the meridians, the energy channels of the body, every point of your body is contained along the colon walls at some point. And waste material will either harden along those colon walls, which will create a problem. Senility, Alzheimer's, all of these things death begins in the colon. And so it's really important. And so it'll either harden on these points, creating a problem later, or it will be reabsorbed if it doesn't get eliminated into the portal vein, sent back to the liver, and then the liver, in its wisdom, will redistribute it, because you can't live without your liver. And if the liver is too intoxicated, then you'll die. So it tries to distribute those toxins through the body, again, in its wisdom. But that's where we get a problem later. That's that third rule I always talk about. Body wants to heal, body knows how to heal, but the body will compensate so you don't get a symptom. And so we have to not let it compensate. We have to help it to function the way it knows how to do.
Now, Valerie James said, I tell my doctor I won't take that, whatever he tells me I need. He must think I'm a difficult patient. Mamuski said, are those with autoimmune disease at higher risk for Alzheimer's, Dr. Glidden?
No, I don't think there's any correlation between the two, but here's the deal. In order and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to make your medical doctor's head explode the next time you're unlucky enough to be in their presence, ask him or her what their definition of health is and see what they say. Most probably they will not be able to give you a working definition of health. And this is important, because if you don't know what health is, how can you help somebody to recover it? You need to know what it is in order to be able to help somebody recover it. Health is the ability of a living organism to experience negative stress and remain symptom-free in a state of dynamic equilibrium. So anytime you have any symptom whatsoever, it's because your body has been destabilized by stress and it's twisting itself into knots in order to try to handle it. Sometimes it can handle it and sometimes it can't, and that when it can't, you develop symptoms. Any symptom that you have is an indication that the game is afoot, your body is in trouble and needs help. And so what do? We support and promote the body's ability to be healthy. All of our therapeutics, whether it's dietary management, fasting, colon hydrotherapy, Kalima boards, medical nutrition, homeopathy, botanical medicine, hands-on healing, acupuncture, whatever it is, the intention of all of these therapeutics is to bring the body back into a state of health. And that's where you need to be. And if you're in a state of health, then you don't need to worry about getting things happening to you downstream, because your body wants to be healthy, but your medical doctor is clueless as to how to do that.
Mrs. Meg said, where can we get that? Now, if you're asking about the supplements, Mrs. Meggs, you go to my website, samshalhoub.com, click on the supplements button. It'll take you to the website, and you're going to get the Healthy Start Pack. That's where you want to get it from. It benefits this channel, and plus you have a direct line to the company that makes it. And yes, Jack, we did say Longevity. Yes, that is the company that I have been representing for many, many years, and I've been taking their products for years, literally for decades now. So that's how you do it. Go to my website. Now, if you're talking about the Kalima board, I don't know, Dr. Neil, where would you get something like that?
Well, unfortunately, Kalima boards of California closed during COVID. I always say I wish I knew that, because I would have bought the company, because, they were, at the end, they were on such back order. But you can go, if you reach out, you can go to Amazon, you can go to eBay, and you can buy them there.
Yeah, thank you. Pureblood Holly Johnson. Docs, we are so thankful for your time. 100%, you guys. I say this every week because it's absolutely necessary to penetrate your brains. Thank you for all that you do. I know you take grief. I know you take, as President Trump would say, slings and arrows for us, and I absolutely appreciate it.
Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I think I did. I can't remember. I think I need more coffee, or maybe less coffee.
Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
I've had a number of remarkable healings in my life, and one was after 3 or 4 weeks on a Kalima board. It's a remarkably effective therapeutic treatment. Remarkably effective.
People were asking, is there a problem having high iron levels?
Go ahead, Dr. Neil.
Yeah. Too much iron, too much of anything is not a good thing. But it's iron is something your body absolutely needs in the blood, but too much breaks up your metabolic function and disrupts liver function. And again, we have to live with the liver. So
you know how medical doctors treat high iron?
Nice glasses, Doc.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Faith and Begora. They bleed you to death. They bleed you. They exsanguinate you. They drain blood from your body to get rid of the iron. They have no idea what's causing the iron to be there in the first place. They have no idea why the body is making too much iron or assimilating too much iron. Their treatment is to just open up a vein and bleed, baby, bleed. It's freaking insane. Now, there's a guy, his name is Morley Robbins. Morley Robbins. And Morley Robbins, for the last 10 years, has been on a research campaign to uncover and do a really deep dive into the metabolism of copper in the human body. And according to Morley's research, which is really very compelling, we've been taught the opposite of what's true concerning iron and copper, and that we need way more copper than we need iron, and that there's all this misconceptions about iron. And so in order to figure that out, I would recommend you do a search for Morley Robbins. Get his book. It's really good, and start to educate yourself.
Dr. Neil, before you say anything, I want to, for any Dragonfly reminded me in the chat, we have to say this on TikTok. For context, this broadcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only, and it is simply our opinions. Sorry, Doc, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, right away, too much iron is going to constipate you. You again, your elimination is so important. As I just said a minute ago, death begins in the colon. So too much of anything is no good. And I agree with Dr. Glidden. Now I'm looking at, studies that are showing if you want to prevent heart disease, you must have adequate levels of copper in your diet.
Yeah.
Did you do any work with the Wigmore Institute in Cambridge?
Sure.
Yeah, so did I. It was a great organization, but I was a little too young to have both feet in that world, but that was a really interesting organization. Remember Victoris Kulvinskas? Did you ever meet Victoris?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
What a remarkable hero. I mean,
What was that place?
those were the days. It was a Ann Wigmore.
Ann Wigmore, yes, the sprouts and yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Goodman.
Yeah, Ann Wigmore had an institute in Cambridge where she was advocating for wheatgrass and wheatgrass juicing and sprouting and colon hydrotherapy and all kinds of things. She was way ahead of her time. And I had a number of colleagues and friends who spent time there and learned quite a bit. But those days are gone,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened. There was this big kind of interest after the 60s, after the flower children revolution, right? There was this big interest in holistic medicine, big interest in holistic medicine. Then it just vaporized.
Well, I can
Well,
tell you
I don't
why.
think
It's
it
because of the
vaporized,
powers
because
that be.
I was certainly part of that, in my early days. That was, again, I started as a psycho-oncologist, and we were working with all of these things, and eventually I did run the Alternative Cancer Foundation for 20-something years out here in California. But all of these things were drummed out of existence. The medical profession came after us. The things we're saying today, if we had said them back even in the 70s or 80s, we'd be arrested. And even now, why you have to say what you just said is because of that, because, medical profession, ultimately big pharma, would chop our heads off, and they closed the Wigmore Institute.
Now, I want you both to be aware. I know you guys you're getting a little more familiar with TikTok, but when those things show up on your screens, that's people giving you gifts. That's what's showing up. So I know that Dr. Neil, you were like, the hell did I push a button? No, those are just people saying thank you, and that's the way you do it on TikTok. The
Gold and
hottest
silver is also a good gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, funny enough, you can exchange those little points that are in the corner of your screen and have it transferred to your PayPal account.
Yeah, exactly. The hottest said Longevity has a ton of great products, which is the one we all need. So the one that we all need is, there's actually 3, but they come in one pack. It's Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Ultimate Osteo FX, and Ultimate EFAs. And if you get the Healthy Start Pack, go to my website, click on the supplements button. You have to sign up in order to get the wholesale pricing. You sign up as a preferred customer. Doesn't cost you anything, but you get wholesale pricing because you're using my link. So that's how you get them, the hottest. And if you have any other questions, just send me a message and I'll be happy to walk you through the process.
If you need help, Shane, I can help you too. So,
yep.
Are you, Dr. Neil, are you familiar with True North, Alan Goldhammer's place in California?
I've heard of it. I haven't. I'm not really. I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't done any work with it.
Yeah, so there's a chiropractor in California. I don't know where it is, but his website is True North, and all he does at this facility is put people on fasts. That's all he does. And you draw the blood, and you make sure that nobody's going to die, and you make sure they're withdrawing from their medications appropriately. But if anybody wants to really to grab the fasting bull by its horns, then you should investigate True North, Alan Goldhammer. I was in a conference with him 2 years ago, and his information was very, very, very compelling.
Interesting.
I
Dave-
was at a cancer clinic in Iceland back in the 90s. They were doing a lot of work with shark cartilage and so on back then. And I went up there to check out the clinic that they had. And what I saw, they had, they use a lot of volcanic clay, and I would see these people arthritic, gnarled, they could barely walk. They get in this volcanic clay bath, and they come out, and they were dancing and moving and so on. It's
were they dancing to the YMCA? I'm just curious.
They were ahead of their times. The 2 products that in my hair care products that I brought back from Iceland. One was their seaweed, and the other was their bentonite clay, and which are in my hair products. You know, again, bentonite is an amazing detoxifier, mineralizer, and moisturizer. It does all of these things. But again, I really watched that, sitting, just what Dr. Glidden was saying, sitting in these baths full of clay, how it drew the toxins out through the skin. And again, seaweed is one of the only places in nature that you can get B complex vitamins is through kelp and other seaweeds. And so they oxygenate and alkalize and nutrify. So again, that's in my hair care products as well.
These are the best kept secrets in convention in modern medicine, folks.
And we're bringing them to the masses, Doc. Exactly.
You know, before the hostile takeover of medicine in the early 1900s by the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, and that's what it was, by the way, the busiest medical clinic west of the Mississippi was in Spokane, Washington. It was a naturopathic clinic run by a guy named O.G. Carroll, and 90% of what O.G. Carroll did was fast people and do hydrotherapy with them. All different types of hydrotherapy. It was real classical, old-fashioned naturopathic therapeutics, and it was the busiest clinic west of the Mississippi. And now, if Dr. Neal or I were to practice naturopathic medicine in Tennessee, we'd be thrown in jail. It's a felony.
Yep.
It's a misdemeanor in Florida, and it's only licensed and regulated in 24 states in the United States. We do not have medical freedom, and we need it.
I always say, you know, the funniest thing about allopathic medicine, it's not really funny, but the weirdest thing for me about allopathic medicine is they're always studying the blood. But what causes disease is the lymphatic system. And so, you know, your lymph system is, you know, basically what, you know, lymphoma, all of these diseases are based on the lymph system not moving. So cold showers, skin brushing, jumping on a trampoline or a rebounder, things like that to move your body. Why yoga is so great. Your body is your pump. Your heart pumps your blood, but you are the pump of your lymphatic system. And if the lymphatic system is stagnated, then you will have disease. It's really that simple in many ways.
And you're talking about skeletal milking, right, Doc? Where they actually the muscles are contracting and they're moving and they're causing the lymphatic system to move.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So I want to thank Mega Dave, Tallulah, Mama Balama, Chris Romano, Jan Levin being Grandma, Blue Flames 41 for all of the gifts. Kathy Lofton 7 just became a super fan. Welcome in, Kathy. Teresa Faria for all the gifts. Chris Romano again. You guys are just wonderful. Thank you all so much. Sorry, Doc. Did you want to say something, Dr. Glidden?
No. Oh.
I said, well, Voltaire said it best, my favorite French philosopher. He said, medical doctors are people who prescribe drugs of which they know little to treat disease of which they know less in human beings of which they know nothing.
Wow. Those are some heavy duty words right there. Blue Flames 41. Thank you. Wendy J said she loves her vibration plate.
Yeah,
that's a lymphatic stimulator. Yeah,
exactly. You stand on it and it vibrates the body and so on to again stimulate the lymphatic system.
Remember the chi machine that they had years ago, where you lay down on your back, you put your ankles in, and it made your ankles go like this for 5 minutes. And you get off of that thing, you felt like there was 1,000 volts of electricity coursing through your whole body. It was crazy.
We have 72,000 nerve endings in the soles of the feet. Again, one of the in addition to setting your circadian rhythm by looking at the sun first thing in the morning, it's really important to go walk barefoot on your grass or in sand or in something that stimulates.
Grounding, right, Doc?
Yeah, well, it's grounding, and it's also again stimulating those 72,000 nerve endings that are in the soles of the feet. It's what reflexology is all about. You know, just massaging the feet in the proper way, you can break up the calcifications and other things that are happening elsewhere in the body just by working on the feet.
There's nothing like a good reflexology treatment, man.
What exactly is reflexology?
It's there. So there's acupuncture and pressure points on your feet, and they're mapped out. It's the same for everybody. If you press here, it's your thyroid. If you press here, it's your large intestine, whatever, right? So a reflexologist is trained to be able to, it's like a medical grade foot massage.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I do iridology. I was fortunate enough to study.
It's a dying art, man.
Yeah, very long time.
What
with
is that?
Dr. It's the study of the iris of the eye. People think that the color of your eye, for example, I mean, when you really detoxify, oftentimes the color of your eye changes. But,
So I don't really have brown eyes naturally? Is that what you're telling me, Doc? Do I really have blue eyes, but I'm so full of crap that they're brown? Is that what you're telling me?
We did not say that out loud.
yes. The idea is that your iris of the eye, the first nervous system to be formed outside of the central nervous system is the ocular. Why I always tell my patients, you have problems with your eyes, it begins with your nervous system. And you have 28,000 nerve endings that surround the pupil. And that is the iris of your eye. And it's like a television screen, the same way Dr. Glidden was just talking about, and I was talking about, the soles of your feet have the same, all the organs are represented on the soles of the feet because of those nerve endings. Well, they're also represented in the eye. So when you study the iris of the eye, you will see, what's going on. Is it as great as other diagnostic tools? Yes and no. I mean, it will tell you things that you can't get in other diagnostic things, but sometimes, is it a kidney stone or is it the beginning of a tumor? Sometimes it's hard to tell for me. But at least I know there's something going on and we have to work on it and look at it. What it is.
So
I mean, it's another diagnostic discovery tool that's been completely lost by and completely ignored by conventional medicine, but more's the pity.
So PJ,
someone had a question about blindness.
well, PJ
Right.
Party said, Docs, my friend has bad hives. Please help.
Bad hives.
Yeah.
So hives is often a response to an external allergen. And if you have an external allergen response, the first thing to consider is that your small intestine is funky, because your small intestine is the border between the inside and the outside of the body. Fun fact to know and tell, your immune system central headquarters lies in a network of blood vessels. It lies on top of the small intestine, because when food is inside the small intestine, it's outside the body. That's interesting. It doesn't get inside the body until it's absorbed into the blood. And that happens through the villi of the small intestine. So if you're eating all the wrong food all the time and your body is undernutrified and you're turning into a toxic sewer, the villi of your small intestine are going to be damaged. And when the villi of the small intestine become damaged, it's like cutting holes in the fence between two countries, in the border between two countries, because it's the border. That's where the immune system lives. So stuff comes into the blood, the immune system sees it and gives it a pass or gives it a fail. But because of, unwittingly eating all the wrong food all the time, your small intestine is going to be compromised. It's going to have holes in it, literal holes in it. It's called a leaky gut syndrome. And that's going to unnecessarily stimulate the immune system. The immune system is going to be overstimulated. And that's one of the things that leads to allergic responses. Another thing that leads to allergic responses is the consumption of too much raw sugar. And here's a fun fact to know and tell. If anybody here suffers from any seasonal allergies, you want to look to see the next time you get an allergy attack, it's probably not you drove through a pollen bank. It's probably something that you ate 5 minutes ago. So look to see whatever it was that you had to eat or you had to drink right before you had the allergy attack, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before it. Usually that food is a trigger. It can be organic orange juice that triggered it. It can be a lot of different things, but there's an intimate relationship there. There's a homeopathic medicine called Urtica urens, Urticaurens. It's kind of one of the go-to medicines for this type of a response, although the classical homeopaths in the world, are throwing daggers at me now because we don't treat disease with homeopathy, we treat people. But nonetheless, every once in a while, there is a homeopathic medicine that seems indicated more often than not for a particular diagnosis. And I would get Urtica urens in the 12C potency, Take 2 pellets 3 times a day for 4 days. See if it moves the needle. And you also need to clean your diet up.
Barb7599 said, "What about shingles? How do I get rid of these?"
Well, shingles is, again, the herpes virus, and we all have the herpes virus because we had chicken pox, or if you got certainly in my generation, we used to have chicken pox parties. Now they want to give you a vaccine for it, which, again, injects the herpes virus into you so you can be sure later in your life you'll have shingles or something like it if you keep going in that way. And then they have a shingles vaccine. And so it's just a way that the medical profession makes money in that way. But it's a nervous system disease, herpes. We all have herpes 6, but shingles is, again, just another form of herpes. And it comes out, herpes 3, and it comes out the skin. Skin is the largest, third, but largest elimination channel of the body. And it generally means your immune system is down, your nervous system is stressed and depleted. And unfortunately, it's very painful. Obviously, for the nervous system, we need methylated B complex, and we have to detoxify and strengthen the immune system. It's not just one simple thing. But that's what it comes from. It's a stress-related or a nutrient deficiency-related opportunistic virus.
Most of the time when people get a shingles outbreak, it's because they've been dealing with a high stress moment in their life. There's like something extracurricular that's been stressing them out for a while. You know, they just went through a divorce. They're studying for final exams. They're about to get married or whatever. It's like a big stress moment. And then boom, the shingles outbreak happens. Usually it's related, like Dr. Neal was saying, to B complex nutrient deficiencies, right? So look, this is not rocket science, folks. Your car needs 8 quarts of oil. If it's got 2 quarts of oil, the engine's going to seize. There's nothing wrong with the engine. It needed more oil. Same with transmission fluid, same with power steering fluid. If your tire needs 35 pounds of air, but it's got 10, it's going to roll off the rim. And if it's a diesel engine and you put unleaded fuel in it, it's going to run like crap if it runs at all. The human body's the same way. The car needs, fluids to be topped off. Your body needs essential nutrients to be topped off. And you also need to stop eating food that's hurting you. When you do these 2 simple things, and then after you've done these 2 simple things for 3 months, then you start to detoxify your body smartly. Then bada bing, bada boom, Bob's your uncle, and you're taking a stroll into the wonderful world of health that you didn't even know existed and your medical doctor is clueless about. It's not hard to make your body healthy. It's not. You just got to do the right things.
Mrs. Meg says, "I've been learning more in the last 30 minutes than I've learned in the last 36 years at my normal doctor." 100%.
Well, you should go to my website then, become a subscriber, because I've got hundreds of hours of instructional videos there that walk you through every aspect of all of this stuff. And honest to God, if you were taught the stuff that Dr. Neal and I know, if you were taught this in high school, nobody would be sick. Well, the amount of sickness in the world would be dramatically reduced.
Hey, Magic just became a super fan. Thank you, Magic. Okay, guys, so we could go on and on here. I can't even tell you how many comments in the chat thanking you, praising you, and all these other things. But Alex has a quick question there.
Speaking about your website, Doc, I know that once you're a member, you have the ability to share with a friend 24 hours of access to the site. Is there a way, or could we maybe, and we can talk about this offline, maybe set up a 24-hour link for one of our shows in the future and let someone have that access for 24 hours? Because being a subscriber and knowing the value and being able to go search what I'm looking for and have what allopathic does and what you recommend, and having it so it's in a form that I can digest or revisit or write down. The site is phenomenal, folks. I'm would hope that everybody jumped on board, not because of any other reason than what this man has put together for us in a way that we can digest it, so that we don't have to have him as our doctor, or we can start to take charge of our own health. Allie, my wife, has been on the regiment now for coming up on 30 days, and she is noticing some really great benefits. This is not rocket science, and it's pretty easy to digest. So I just wanted to ask if
that's easy to do. It will take me 2 minutes to put together that link. So I'll have that all ready to go for a week from today. No problem.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. So we've taken up the doc's time a lot today. As always, we always go way over. But there's a couple things. First, if you want to get the supplements Dr. Glidden and I are talking about, go to my website, samshalhoub.com, click on the supplements button, get the Healthy Start Pack. If you have any questions, just let me know. Make sure you sign up as a preferred customer. What doesn't cost you anything, but you get wholesale prices. Now, Dr. Glidden, tell everybody about your website and how they can get there.
Also, if you get the starter pack, if you put it on auto ship, it saves you the cost of shipping.
Yes.
Okay, so my website contains self-help health recovery information, which has been gleaned from 37 years of clinical work as a licensed naturopathic physician. And not only my own work, but decades of clinical work from contemporaries and people that passed away 100 years ago. There's a wealth of information concerning the correct application of naturopathic therapeutics in order to stimulate the body's natural ability to fix itself. And I've lined this up on the website. And it's easy to understand. It's point and click. It's self-help health recovery. The intention of the information on my website is to make it unnecessary for anybody to go to a doctor, because most of the time your body will fix itself. You know, sometimes you need a private appointment. You do. And my calendar is booked. But most of the time, all you need to do is A, B, and C. Oh, you've got asthma, point and click. Oh, your kid has chickenpox, point and click. Oh, you have rheumatoid arthritis, point and click. I tell you what the medical doctors think about it, how they manage it, what naturopathic doctors do to get on the other side of it. And it's really pretty easy. If you're smart enough to pass the driver's license test, you're smart enough to learn what to do to help your body fix itself. And so if you've popped out of the medical matrix, finally, thank God, and you're dramatically aware of the shortcomings of conventional medicine, but you're looking for alternatives, well, I'm your huckleberry.
So what you want to do, everybody, is you go to my website, click on Dr. Glidden's button, use the code SAM, and you'll get a 30% discount. Now, Dr. Glidden, before we get to you, Dr. Neil, Dr. Glidden, Magic said, can you run a sale on your nice hat and mustache, Doc? Doc, can you run a sale on your book? Last time it didn't work for me. Can you prep that for next week, Doc?
Yes, it's already prepped right now. The 20% discount code for my book is STEADFAST with a capital S. STEADFAST, Steadfast. You get 25% off either of the print copies, the hardcover or the softcover.
Excellent. Okay, Dr. Neil, how can people get in touch with you, and can you tell them a little bit about Neil Naturopathic?
So again, I've worked in cancer therapy for 45 years, and I had to, for my patients with compromised immune system, to use products, hair care products that and skin oils. The hair oils and the tea are also good for your skin, your depleted nervous system, again, your eyes, your bones, your teeth, all of that. neilnaturopathic.com. They're all no chemicals, no toxins, no formaldehyde donors, no parabens, no fragrances, no preservatives. Everything is every ingredient is therapeutic to help heal the scalp, grow your hair. Hair oils, accessories, again, an internal tea. If you go to samshalhoub.com, you can click on the Neil Naturopathic button. You get and use the code SAM20. You get 20% off your first order. You can get to me also through neilnaturopathic.com or drjulianneil.com. And you can go to the Neil Naturopathic YouTube channel. There are videos. I do a weekly thing for Optimize, which is a women's health magazine. I do a weekly video for them, and there are meditation videos and obviously about Neil Naturopathic as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Doc.
I'm hooked on the hair care products. I'm doing it for 2 weeks, and I'm never going back to the old way, baby.
Exactly. Well, Dr. Glidden, Dr. Neil, as always, from the center of our hearts, thank you thank you, thank you. And I couldn't begin to read all of the thank yous in the chat, but everyone with one loud voice is saying thank you and keep up the good work. Have a wonderful weekend, gentlemen.
Live long and prosper.
The,
See you.
products are good for babies, and yes, they are. Don't get it in their eyes like any soap, but yes, they're absolutely perfect for babies.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Doc. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend. All right. Wow. It is always rapid fire on Fridays, isn't it, Alex?
For you,
Yeah,
you
I'm
got,
down.
you got to remember your co-host
You-
you got to chime me in every once in a while, buddy.
You got to just put your hand because I get locked in. I don't even realize
I
what
did,
I'm doing.
and you were locked in on the other screen. So
Jeez, I'm sorry.
I'm going to send you a internet activated shock collar.
There you go. Maybe that'll work. That may be the only answer. All right, everybody. So that's it for the show today. I think we're just going to go ahead and sign off today. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Our apologies for going so long, but it seems like everybody wanted us to keep going, so we kept going. So we're just going to say goodbye. Or so long, I should say. We'll see you on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Go out, enjoy your weekend, get your feet in the sand, get your feet in the grass, like Alex says, hug a tree, do the things, smile at people, because remember that the best is yet to come. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Alex, talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.